Looks like you're in the market to buy a new house. Hey, you may have found the perfect place. Dirt cheap. Looks like it's next to a 5G tower. And you know what that means, right? Radiation, headaches, genetic mutations. Or does it? The idea that cell phone towers cause radiation is nothing new. But is there any truth to this? How does 5G compare to towers in the past? And do we have to worry about future networks? We're quelling any and all rumors on the subject as we answer the question, what if you lived next to a 5G tower? What is 5G anyways? In case you didn't know, 5G stands for 5th generation, and it's the standard global mobile network. It connects all of us, and we literally mean all of us, from our phones to laptops to printers to smart cars to just about anything that can connect to it. As you can imagine, there were 4 previous networks, aptly named 1G through 4G. And with each new iteration, data could be transferred faster, more and more devices could be on the network, and there was wider availability and just overall improved efficiency throughout the system. It really is an amazing network, and it allows us to use our smartphones to their fullest potential. Towers are strategically placed throughout the globe to give the best and most consistent service possible. But the waves that travel to our phones carrying the data are known as RF waves, or radio frequency waves, and they produce what is known as RFR, or radio frequency radiation. Well, now you see why that house was so cheap. Being next to a cell phone tower certainly must expose you to heaping doses of radiation poisoning. What were you thinking? Buying that home could be deadly. Wait. Let's not jump to conclusions based on rumors. We're going to the facts. Firstly, yes, exposure to radiation can certainly harm you. No surprise there. Many of the stronger and more damaging types of waves are probably ones you have heard of, like gamma rays, X-rays, and UV or ultraviolet rays. And the effects of prolonged exposure to these waves is no joke. Increased cancer risk, genetic damage, deficiencies to learning and memory, neurological disorders, and even damage to your cells are all very real effects of too much exposure to these harmful rays. And RFR has the potential to damage us in these ways. In fact, one study in 2011 by the World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer found that RFR could be potentially dangerous to humans. And in their study, they noted that when tested on rats, after 2 years of exposure, there was increased cancer in male rats, and it damaged the cells in all rats. We know, terrifying stuff. But hold on a second. Don't discount that house just yet. Check this out. Firstly, the FCC has set an exposure limit on RFR, which limits the intensity of these waves. So right off the bat, towers have limits to keep us safe from dangerous levels of exposure. On top of this, the energy of the RF signals is low, like really low, especially if you are comparing it to the other types of waves. The waves given off by cell phone towers just don't have enough energy to break the chemical bonds in your DNA. And it's this destructive process that happens with stronger types of waves. And it's what can lead to cancer. Also, these waves are not much different than waves that are already all around us, all the time. We are talking about radio and broadcast television waves. These are harmless to us. And since RF waves are so similar in length and speed, there really isn't anything to worry about. Speaking of wave types, the RF waves produced by cell phone towers are long. This means it's highly unlikely that the energy these waves produce is enough to cause damage to the cells in your body. They just aren't strong enough. And there have been plenty of studies on this as well. One study looked for signs of damage in DNA and blood cells and found there was no difference between people who lived near a cell phone tower versus far away. One British study looked at over 1,000 children who had cancer and a group of similar children without cancer, and found no link to a mother's exposure to a cell phone tower during her pregnancy. They looked at the distance from the home to the tower and also the potency of the tower's waves. These towers just didn't cause cancer. In fact, studies have shown that there is more radiation coming from your cell phone itself than from any cell phone tower. And again, the radiation your phone gives off isn't enough to cause cancer. So we say you're safe. And if you're really worried about potential exposure, the best course of action is to put your phone across the room when you sleep at night, just as a precaution. Looks like buying that house next to that cell phone tower won't actually harm you, at least based on the research that we have. Yes, radiation is certainly produced, but nowhere near the amount that you would have to worry about it affecting you. So hey, make that down payment, sign the papers, call up the movers. Well, after you make sure that the roof doesn't leak. We'll see you in the next video, Brainiacs.